This is a great part for Ryan Gosling. And they said, we've been talking to him for months. Now, wait a second. They'd only been talking to me for weeks. So they probably would have gone ahead without me.
Nobody disarms celebrities with dry deadpan like Harrison Ford. A studio audience is on its feet, cheering, clapping, roaring for the man who just walked out. The man who flew the Millennium Falcon cracked the whip as Indiana Jones, the biggest movie star 3 generations of Americans ever loved. And the first thing that man does before he even sits down is wave his hand at all of them and mutter 2 words. Knock it off. That's Harrison Ford, 83 years old, 50 years of interviews behind him, and he still treats the whole circus like a dentist's appointment he's trying to get out of early. Reporters walk into these rooms hoping to charm him, and they walk out looking like they just got caught sneaking into a movie.
And by the way, I just felt your body. You're very muscular. You really are very muscular.
But here's the thing nobody tells you about that grumpy old cowboy act. It hides something. And by the end of this video, his own co-stars are going to walk right up to a camera and give away the secret he's been protecting for half a century. You're going to watch him get hauled onto a stage in handcuffs and just stand there. You'll watch him take the single most famous question in fan history and answer it in 3 words that leave a whole convention hall screaming. You'll watch him explain how they rebuilt his face with a computer like a man reading the back of a cereal box. And you'll watch him look a reporter dead in the eye and refuse to answer while everyone around him falls apart laughing.
My question is, when you were growing up like Belfry Theater, did you ever see any of this?
No.
Then, right around the middle of all this, somebody who knows him is going to tell you what's really going on behind that scowl.
he plays the "get off my lawn" thing.
Yes.
That's not who he. That's just what he does to disarm you.
Yeah.
But so when you see him in interviews and he's doing that thing where he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's like, "I've never seen a Marvel movie." Like that's to throw you off. But he really he loves the work and he loves that persona.
And once you hear it, you will never watch Harrison Ford the same way again. Because the grumpiest man in Hollywood isn't grumpy. He's doing a bit, and he's better at it than almost anyone alive.
They finally came up with a good with the story. I read it and I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great. And as I read it, I read about the character that Ryan.
It's Ryan.
Came to play, and I said, and with great enthusiasm, I called up the producers and I said, "This is great. I can't wait to get blah blah blah." And what a great part! Why don't we see if we can get Ryan Gosling? Yeah.
The man who told the room to stop clapping. Let's start with a night he told a room full of people who love him to please, for the love of God, stop. Late night television. The host has parked a full-size Millennium Falcon outside the studio just to announce his guest. The crowd loses its mind. And Harrison shuffles out, waves them off, and grumbles at them to quit it. The host tries to keep the compliments going. He tells Harrison how muscular he is, actually reaches over and feels his arm.
And by the way, I just felt your body. You're very muscular. You really are very muscular.
And you can watch Harrison decide in real time that this is the most uncomfortable he's been all week. He says the host is even more uncomfortable with the praise than he is. He is not. Nobody is more allergic to praise than Harrison Ford. They talk about the Lifetime Achievement Award he just picked up from his fellow actors, the highest honor his own industry can hand a man. And how does he describe getting it?
Was that exciting, rewarding, any of those things? Yes.
Yeah,
Some of those things?
It was humbling and embarrassing.
Humbling and embarrassing. That's the whole review. It gets better. Woody Harrelson gave the speech in his honor that night. Lovely, warm, glowing words about a man he has never once worked with. So the host asks the obvious question. Out of everyone you've made movies with over 50 years, you couldn't get a single one to introduce you?
Yeah, you've hung out with them. I mean, I believe that. But isn't it weird that you weren't able to get anyone you ever worked with to, jump in that spot? Like Billy D. Williams would have been great, for instance. And yet there was Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. I couldn't get anybody. I'd asked Helen Mirren, but she was busy.
She declined, yeah.
She did.
Anybody else? Yeah, just Helen?
And Harrison just shrugs. I couldn't get anybody. He says he asked Helen Mirren. She was busy. She declined. That was the entire guest list. One name. She said no. Then they roll a montage of his greatest roles, the kind of highlight reel that would make most actors tear up. The host asks if he watched it.
Did you watch that, or do you avert your eyes from something like that?
No, I try not to watch that, because if I see my life, flash before my eyes,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be available for a Lifetime award. I'll think I'm dead.
Harrison says he tries not to, because if he sees his whole life flash before his eyes, he says he figures he must be dead, and a dead man isn't available to collect a Lifetime award. That's the joke. That's the man. He turns his own funeral into a scheduling conflict. And when the host asks him to name his favorite movie out of everything he's ever made, one of the greatest bodies of work in American film, Harrison won't do it.
No, I just don't. I don't have that favorite, because I love the making of a movie, and that's where I'm satisfied.
Interesting.
When we're making it. When you see it, it's been all screwed up, When I did it, it was better than that.
He says he doesn't have a favorite, and he means it. He tells him the truth. He loves making the movie. That's the part he lives for. After that, he says, when you finally see it up on the screen, it's all been messed up somehow. When he did it, it was better than that. Sit with that for a second, because it's the first real clue. Underneath the grumbling is a craftsman who cares more about the work than the applause. Hold on to that. It matters later. Dragged on stage in handcuffs. Now roll the clock back. San Diego, a convention hall packed with thousands of the most passionate movie fans on the planet. A film called Cowboys and Aliens is being introduced, and the director is bringing out his cast one by one. The guy who played James Bond, the big names, everybody getting their applause. And then he saves the last one. He tells the crowd this is his first time here.
You feel welcome, Harrison Ford.
And out walks Harrison Ford in handcuffs. It was a gag, a planned bit where the legend gets marched onto the stage like a prisoner, because heaven forbid Harrison Ford show up somewhere and look happy to be there. The place erupts. 10,000 people on their feet. And Harrison stands in the middle of that roar, looking genuinely, completely bewildered, like a man who walked into the wrong room and can't find the exit. The director actually says it out loud. He tried to warn Harrison what the reaction would be, and now he says Harrison finally knows. That's the whole beauty of it. Put Harrison Ford in front of 10,000 screaming fans, and he doesn't soak it up. He looks around like he's trying to figure out who called all these people and why nobody asked him first. Most stars chase that moment their entire careers. Harrison looks like he'd trade it for a quiet afternoon and a sandwich.
My question is, when you were growing up like Belfry Theater, did you ever see any of this?
No. I had ambitions to be, I just wanted to make a living as an actor. I didn't know about this.
Don't forget the Thank you.
And still, he showed up in the handcuffs. He played along, because somewhere under all that reluctance, he understood exactly what the room wanted. He always does.
What would be their first words to each other? Okay, great. Now I have to repeat it. If... Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Same kind of hall. A different year. A panel for a science fiction film, and a young man steps up to the microphone, shaking, telling Harrison he's a lifelong fan, thanking him on behalf of everyone in the building.
Thank Mr. Ford on behalf of the fans for his marvelous work through the years in entertaining us.
And then he asks the question, the one every fan on Earth has wondered about. He asks Harrison if Han Solo and Indiana Jones, the two biggest characters this man ever played, two heroes a whole country grew up idolizing, if those two ever met, what would be the very first thing they'd say to each other?
I just had a couple questions. Just one question. If Han Solo and Indiana Jones were to meet... Okay, I want to stop you right there.
It's a beautiful question. It's the question. Lightsabers versus whips. The two halves of a childhood standing face to face. The whole room leans in. This could be anything. This could be poetry. Harrison thinks about it. And then he answers. Hi, how are you? That's it. That's the summit meeting of the two greatest adventure heroes in movie history. Hi, how are you? The hall detonates. Because it's perfect. It's so flat, so ordinary, so completely unwilling to give the fantasy what it wants, that it becomes funnier than any clever answer could have been. And he's not done. Another young fan gets up, tells Harrison he used to pretend to be Indiana Jones as a kid, right up until the stone rolled onto him and broke his leg. Harrison's response? He's not apologizing, he's congratulating him. And when the kid asks whether Han Solo would make a good soldier in an army, Harrison shakes his head. Han Solo, he says, is what we'd now call an independent contractor.
Mr. Ford, I'm a big fan. I used to pretend I was Indiana Jones when I was a child. Yes, until the day a stone rock broke my leg, but I'm still a fan. Yes. So, my question.
Are you blaming him?
I'm saying I'm congratulating him.
He will not romanticize these characters.
I don't think Han Solo would be good as a soldier in anybody's army. I think he's what we call now an independent contractor.
He will not hand you the moment you're begging for. And that refusal, that flat, dry, deadpan refusal, is the funniest thing in the room every single time.
Did that freak you out? Was that weird for you to see?
That is my actual face at that age.
The face that isn't a special effect. Let's talk about the time technology caught up to Harrison Ford, and he treated a genuine scientific marvel like a mild inconvenience. For his last big adventure movie, the studio needed to make him look 40 years younger for the opening, so they built something extraordinary. An artificial intelligence program that could crawl through every foot of film the studio had ever shot of him across his entire career, including scenes that were filmed decades ago and never even used. and rebuild his young face frame by frame.
They have this artificial intelligence program that can go through every foot of film that Lucasfilm owns, because I did a bunch of movies.
On a late-night couch, the host shows him the result and asks if it freaked him out to see himself young again. And Harrison, without a flicker of wonder, says, "That's my actual face, at that age." He explains the whole process the way you'd explain how you fixed a leaky faucet. They have this program. It goes through all the old film. It finds where the light was coming from. He puts a few dots on his face, says the words, and they make it. It's fantastic, he says in the least fantastic voice a human being has ever used.
But that's my actual face. And then I put little dots on my face and I say the words and they make it's fantastic.
Then the host is contractually required to ask about his upcoming comic book movie, and this is where Harrison turns refusal into an art form.
Are you allowed to? Are you allowed to tell us anything?
I'm allowed to tell you everything I know. Everything. Ask me anything.
He tells the host he's allowed to reveal everything. Everything. Ask me anything. So the host asks where it takes place, and Harrison says, "I don't know. Ask me something I know, because I don't know anything." The host tries again. Harrison says he can't tell him because this time he does know, and knowing is exactly why he can't say. He's built a perfect little trap. He'll only answer the questions he can't answer. Finally, the host just gives up and tells him to make something up.
At a disco.
Wow. So
Yeah.
is this a monitor or is this a flashback?
It's a flashback.
Wow. Studio 54?
Yeah.
Since nobody will know the difference. And Harrison, delighted, invents a scene where his character meets Captain America in a flashback at a 1970s disco. Studio 54. In the basement, he insists nothing happened. He spins a whole cheerful lie on command, and somehow that's the most honest he's been all night.
You're in.
616. I'm in Universe 616.
You're in Universe 616.
Yeah, I'm out of my orbit.
Perfect, thank you.
I'm out of my orbit. Now watch what happens when the questions get too clever for their own good. A reporter doing his homework walks up with a real fan's question.
Amazing. So Deadpool and Wolverine set up anchor beings, meaning if they die, the universe dies. So who do you think would be the anchor being of 616?
He's read about the newest Marvel movies about this idea of anchor beings, characters a whole universe depends on, and he asks Harrison very seriously who the anchor being of Universe 616 would be. Universe 616. If you don't know what that means, don't worry, neither does Harrison, and he's the one they're asking. He blinks. He repeats it back slowly, like the words are coming apart in his hands. Universe 616. I'm in Universe 616. And then quietly he lands it. I'm out of my orbit. And he's done. He walks away. He is not going to pretend to understand a thing he does not understand just to make a stranger comfortable. And there's something almost heroic about that at 82 years old. It's the same move he pulls at another one of these panels when a fan asks whether his real goal is to go back and reboot every single major franchise he ever helped create.
Yeah. I think we have time for one more question before we have to let everyone go. What's your name, sir?
I'm Adam.
Hey, Adam. What's your question?
It's for Harrison Ford. Is your life goal to reboot every major franchise you helped to create?
Star Wars, Indiana Jones, all of it. And instead of a modest, polished answer, Harrison gives him the grin and the grunt and lets the honesty land like a punchline.
You helped to create? Like Blade Runner.
You bet your ass it is.
I don't think there's any better answer than that.
He knows exactly how ridiculous the whole machine is. He's been inside it for 50 years, and he refuses to talk about it in the reverent little voice everyone expects. By now, you've watched him do this over and over. The scowl, the flat answer, the refusal to play along.
We further develop those themes in the story. But I'm not going to tell you anything about it.
Okay. No. You don't have to.
Yeah.
And you probably think you understand it. You think this is just who he is, a grumpy old legend who never learned to enjoy the attention. You're about to find out you had it completely backwards.
It's like, I've never seen a Marvel movie. That's to throw you off. But he really loves the work, and he loves that persona.
Why he really does it. Here's the moment everything turns. The cast of his television comedy is sitting down for an interview without him. Younger actors, comedians, people who spend their working days trying to make each other laugh.
Like every scene the only person who doesn't break is Jason, but I finally got him the last scene in the finale. Yeah, finally.
And they start talking about Harrison, about what he's actually like when the cameras that we see aren't the ones rolling.
I feel like you guys should take your shots.
I do it once in a show.
Yeah, let's hear it.
No. We can save it for the
Yuri, I feel like you could.
And one of them says the thing out loud.
You know, he plays the "get off my lawn" thing.
Yes.
That's not who he. That's just what he does to disarm you.
Yeah.
But so when you see him in interviews,
he says that whole "get off my lawn" routine, that grumpy, growling, I don't know what any of this is act you see in every interview. That's not who Harrison is. That's what he does to disarm you. Let that sink in. When you watch Harrison Ford squint at a reporter and claim he's never seen a Marvel movie, when he says he doesn't know anything, when he grumbles that he's out of his orbit, his co-star tells us plainly that's a move. It's designed to throw you off. It's a shield he puts up on purpose, and he's been doing it so well for so long that the entire world mistook the performance for the man. And here's the part that turns the whole thing warm. His co-star says Harrison does it because he actually loves the work. He loves it so much that he's protective of it. The grumpiness isn't him hating the job, it's him guarding the part of the job he cares about from the part of the job he finds silly. The scowl isn't a wall against us, it's a wall around the thing he loves. The same co-star says he sometimes sits and watches Harrison act and wonders how a voice that quiet, that low, gets picked up by the microphone at all.
But it is sometimes I watch the show and I'm like, how is his voice so low and so quiet, and yet the microphone picks it up.
It is so low. Han Solo.
And then he answers his own question. Of course it does. That's Han Solo. That voice has been reaching the back row for 50 years. So go back, rewind every clip you just watched in your head. The handcuffs. Hi, how are you? The faucet repair voice explaining the miracle machine. The disco lie. Every single one of them was a man in complete control, choosing the least expected thing on purpose, protecting his real self by handing you a character instead. You didn't catch him being grumpy. He caught you. Every time.
I've always treated these questions with the utmost respect and somehow at the same time complete disdain. I will not answer that stupid question. But thank you.
I will not answer that stupid question. Now that you know it's a bit, watch him run the bit at the highest level of his life. He's sitting with a cast of his big comic book movie, all of them cracking jokes, and a reporter turns to Harrison with a fun one.
And these guys were there to experience it all. Harrison Ford, Anthony Mackie, Dana Ramirez, Tim Blake Nelson, and Giancarlo Esposito. Welcome, men, gentlemen, sirs, how are you?
That's not the actual billing. Mr. Mackie is well above my name.
Well,
I just work here.
That's fine.
A very small part.
His new character is a villain, tangled up with a group called the Serpent Society. His most famous character, Indiana Jones, was terrified of snakes his whole career. So the reporter asks lightly, who handles snakes better, Indiana Jones or the new guy?
I got to ask you, given that this, of course, is the antagonist here is king of the Serpent Society. Who deals better with snakes, Indy or Thaddeus Ross?
It's a softball. It's a gift. Any other star tosses off a cute answer, and everybody moves on. Harrison takes a breath. He tells the reporter that he's always treated questions like this one with the utmost respect, and at the very same time, complete disdain. And then, with total calm, he delivers the verdict. I will not answer that stupid question, but thank you. The whole cast folds. They howl, and here's the tell, he immediately softens it. He tells the reporter it's an honor. He's delighted, happy to help. That's what he's here for. He knows exactly how sharp that was, and he wraps it in politeness so you know it was never cruelty.
Yeah, no, of course.
I mean,
it's an honor to know.
Delighted to have the opportunity.
Happy to provide it. That's what I'm here for.
It was comedy. It was a man who's been landing that exact rhythm since before half that cast was born. Earlier in the very same interview, they asked him about an old clip where he claimed he didn't know who his own character was. Was that a fake out too? And Harrison deadpans, "That's how dumb I am," before admitting, of course, that he knew all along. He kept this secret because keeping this secret was funnier.
And I thought it was a fabulous secret to keep.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the secret's out of the bag.
It is.
Yeah. So, but what I do not know is what the Red Hulk leads to, which is very interesting.
He was playing the room the whole time and letting everyone believe he was just a confused old man. That's the disarming thing, exactly like his co-star told us. He hands you the fool on purpose, and while you're laughing at the fool, the sharpest comic mind in the room is running the entire scene. The joke was on us. So let's go back to where we started. That Lifetime Achievement Award, that montage he refused to watch, that room full of people he told to knock it off. For 50 years, we thought we were watching a great dramatic actor who happened to be a grump. We had it exactly upside down. We were watching one of the great deadpan comedians of his generation, hiding inside the body of an action hero, refusing to let any of us in on it. And then, at 83 years old, the world finally caught up. For the first time in his entire life, Harrison Ford earned an award nomination for comedy. Not for the whip, not for the blaster, for being funny. For a role where he finally got to do on purpose and in the open the exact thing he'd been doing to reporters in secret for half a century. The grumpy old man was never the truth. The grumpy old man was the greatest character Harrison Ford ever played, and he played it on all of us for 50 years, and never once broke. So here's what I want to know from you. After everything you just watched, do you think Harrison Ford is genuinely that private, that allergic to the spotlight, and the comedy just leaks out by accident? Or do you think it's the other way around, that he's one of the sharpest, most deliberate comedians we've ever had, and the grumpiness is the mask? Tell me down in the comments which Harrison you believe in. And while you're at it, tell me the one moment in this video where he made you actually laugh out loud, so the rest of us can go back and enjoy it again. If you made it this far, you already know the kind of comedy this channel lives for. Subscribe, stick around, and I'll see you with the next legend, because there are a lot more of them where this came from.